Start the recording. There we go. Okay, so I do know some of you from Mother meetups that I've done. So I want to welcome you guys. I am the coordinator of the Calgary Wellness Group with the Calgary Meetup. And I do have this on Eventbrite and also on my website. So I don't know where people are coming from. So I'm just going to let somebody else in here. And today we're going to have a guest speaker come on. And this is Brittany, who does multiple modalities, we'll say. She is trained in RMT, Chinese traditional medicine, and reflexology, and that. So we want to have her come on and explain a little bit about reflexology so we can get a better understanding of why it's so important that we look at it and maybe go see her for some help and assistance. So welcome, Brittany.
Thanks, Kelly. Hi, everybody. So I know we have one practitioner with us, so I wanted to approach this from two different ways, kind of how I use reflexology as a practitioner, and then what you, as someone who isn't a practitioner, how you could use this theory as well. So for me in my practice, I use reflexology every single treatment. Like Kelly was saying, I'm trained in other modalities, but when I'm doing a treatment, I like to start at the feet. Already, when I'm just taking a few swipes of the foot, I'm feeling where the tension is. Maybe I'm noticing, okay, they have some swollen ankles. We want to do some lymph drainage. So it's a full body assessment all through your foot. So you can think, so for those who aren't practitioners, you can think of your foot or your hand. So we can do reflexology through the foot, the hand, and the ear. So you can look at these areas as a big body map. And starting at the tips of your toes or the tips of your fingers is going to be the head, and then moving down through the body from there, all the way through the internal organs and into the lower back, reproductive organs kind of around the wrist or what would be around the ankle. So we're getting literally a full body assessment of the musculoskeletal system, but also the internal organs as well. Um, Oftentimes, if somebody comes in with, say, sciatic pain, I'm feeling the sciatic pain right away in the heel area there. And then I can just work directly on the sciatic area without even working on the local area. So it's a double whammy. Like I'm doing the foot massage at the beginning to kind of relax the body, introduce my touch. Most people fall asleep when I'm just doing the foot. And then from there, I can just get in and they're already relaxed and they're much more accepting of the treatment is the biggest thing that I notice when I start at the feet is their acceptance to the rest of the treatment from there. Um, and I like the versatility of it. Like I said, you can work the whole body through just these few simple areas. So, say you had an injury on your knee, and I can't actually do a treatment on your knee. I could still do the reflexology points and be working on that area. So, I love it for versatility. It's easy to get to. I do this treatment a lot for senior people in retirement homes, and I don't have to set up my home massage table. They can literally whip their foot out and off I go. I can start working on the reflexology points. We could amplify this with some essential oils. So if we're wanting to calm the body, obviously I would use something like a lavender, or if we're working on digestive, maybe something with like licorice root in there. So you can amplify it from there using some nice essential oils to make it even that much more pleasant and useful. Everybody's muted. How am I doing so far? I feel like I'm talking to myself a little bit.
Uh, yeah, because you guys, well, they can unmute and talk if they want, or you can just
Mhm.
put it in the chat. Doesn't matter.
Okay, I'll
If
just
you guys do have any questions, this is the time to ask them to get your answers.
yeah, yeah. Um, Through Chinese medicine, it's really interesting how a lot of these theories combine. I often get the question of how does reflexology work? And it's a bit of a tricky answer. I mean, definitely we have these pressure points in different areas of the body that are corresponding to other areas. And we can see this now with modern day technology where different centers of the brain are being ignited or different areas of the body are being ignited by pressing on certain areas. But the amazing thing is before this technology, this is like thousands and thousands of years old, this ancient knowledge. So how they knew is a little bit of a mystery. And I think the whole way our body works is a bit of a mystery. We can only understand it so well, and then that's just kind of how it is. And when I took Chinese medicine, it was interesting how now these meridian systems that they're talking about are lining up with these points on the feet and the hands that I learned in reflexology. So, for example, around the ankle area would be your kidney meridian, and in reflexology, that would be your reproductive area. And if I'm going to work on your reproductive area with Chinese medicine, I'm going to work into the kidney area, right? So kidney area equals ankle area equals reproductive area. So there's a lot of things that align with different theories from different modalities. So I think we have to kind of trust this ancient knowledge and to do what it has been seen to do, right? Through thousands of years of doing treatments on people. It's a bit of like a trial and error type of medicine, you know? Um, so in terms of how you could use it for yourself, I mean, you can poke around into your foot and you'll feel different things. If you look up, you could Google a foot map and then literally look at your foot and kind of see, okay, I have shoulder pain. I'm going to press on the shoulder point of my foot, and you'll most definitely have little crunchies, I like to call them, is oftentimes what this tension is going to feel like little crunchies. And you can kind of work that out the same way that you would with a massage. You're trying to like work out those tissues, get better blood flowing through there, and you can get results. Now, to say that if you had a serious kidney disease, can you heal that through just reflexology on your foot? Maybe not, no. But if you have a kidney issue, you most likely have like urinary difficulties, right? Or you're going to have edema happening in your ankles because of what's happening with your kidneys. And you could still work through the reflexology from that point of view, right? Where we're working on the circulation of the foot and of the whole body, and we are working into your kidney to give it some loving. But if you have kidney stones, I'm not saying that we can get the kidney stones out only through reflexology, right? It depends on the severity of some of these things that we're trying to treat. But nothing is going to be made worse through reflexology. And it's going to help to, like I said, send some information to the body that, okay, healing needs to happen in this area. So, yeah, it's a really beautiful thing that way. Um, Not always is everything on the right side of your body going to show up on the right side of your foot. It can be switched sometimes. I've seen that. I see it a lot of times where it does line up. Like I said, the lady that came in with sciatic pain on her left side, I felt it immediately on the left side of her foot. But there is a theory that sometimes they cross over. So what's going on the right, you're going to see in the left. So the game of healing is like a big puzzle. It's always a big puzzle, and you're trying to piece together where everything's coming from and why, you know. But with foot reflexology specifically, everything starts at the foot. If your step is off, it's going to affect your knee, and that's going to affect your hip. So it's really important to assess things from the bottom up. I really like it for that. And the hand points are just another extension of all of that. I mean, we all use our hands so much, and every single time I give somebody a hand massage, they had never realized how much tension was in their hands. And like, oh my gosh, like my whole body feels so relaxed from you just massaging my one hand. So I think it's a bit underrated sometimes, some of these other areas that aren't tapped into. Um, and with the ear, I would prefer to use acupuncture needles on the ear, to be honest. I think that you can get little acupressure tools. And talking about pain, like Tina was saying, sometimes we want that effect. But if you're a person who doesn't want a very invasive treatment, you might not love having acupressure in the ear. But with the needles, you can just boom, get like right to the point, and once they're in, you don't even feel them and they just go to work. The ear is really, really good for mental, emotional, and things like addictions. And I'm talking strong addictions to things like crack cocaine is like what ear acupuncture is often used for and seeing really great results. So yeah, going to something that
Why
extreme
have
or
we not heard of that?
right. There was my one of my acupuncture professors actually was doing volunteer groups for Calgary downtown in helping. She was part of a program and like just yeah was having 20 different patients all with different addictions, and just the feedback was amazing even just from one session, just like calming the mind. I had a lady in for a treatment just this week actually, and she's really struggling with, full on anxiety, panic attacks. And she came into my office pretty much having one of those. And she was almost in tears by the end of it just because of like how much better she felt. She just didn't think that that was possible through we didn't even have 1 hour. She was late showing up, which made her even more stressed out. So we had maybe 35 minutes and we did some reflexology, a few needle points, and she was feeling literally like a new person when she came out. So this stuff can be really powerful. That's kind of where I'm saying everybody's like, how is pressing on my foot going to make any difference? But it does. I have to say these networks are real. And I think another network that's becoming really popular that we keep talking about is the fascia. Some people pronounce that differently, fascia. I call it fascia. And these little networks just hang on to all of our emotions. They're connecting every part of our body together. So I think we're understanding more and more how important these connections are, that they are there. And now science is kind of showing us on the screen like our human brains like to see. But yeah, but this has been around a long, long time.
Yeah, we do like our evidence, don't we?
We love it. We
Yeah.
love it. Yeah.
For some, I don't need the evidence because I just don't. But for some people, they do, and they want to have that experience with it, right?
Yeah, it feels good to know. And even for myself, like I like seeing the science backing it up. It makes me feel like it just strengthens my belief in it all that much more. But after doing this for 15 years, like I see time and time again these connections that happen, with what people are saying, they're feeling in their body and what I'm feeling, for example, in these reflexology points.
Well, I think it's amazing that you can work with addictions because that's something that's hard to sometimes get you through.
Big
But it's
time.
also for mental illness, just to get people to feel better with anxiety because that becomes a huge issue for a lot of people.
It's
I
such
didn't
a
know that.
large epidemic. Like I
Yeah.
think so many people have anxiety who never thought that they would be a person that has anxiety. And it's like, oh, that's what this feels like. Oh, this is what everyone's been talking about, what anxiety feels like, and it's scary. And so if you don't feel like you have any tools, then you can really drown in that fear.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think mental emotional health is really, really important right now. And it's like beautiful that we're online and able to use our technology like this, but of course it goes too far, where we're just bombarded with too much all at once. And I don't think our human brains have adapted to that yet. And I think for that reason, these type of treatments are going to become that much more important. Like we're going to need to come back to each other, to human touch, to things that aren't online and don't involve technology. It's just one on one.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. We do have a question here.
Yeah.
What do you think of the use of tack and seeds? I have no idea what that is.
Hack and seize.
Seeds.
Seeds. Oh, yeah, I love those. I love those for sure. You can so the little so tacks are like a little band-aid with a needle basically on it, and you can put
Oh,
them into
okay.
acupuncture points and just leave them in there for like days at a time.
Oh,
And the seeds are the same thing, like a little band-aid, but it just has a little bump on it as opposed to a needle, and you can put that onto acupressure points most traditionally for the ear, but anywhere, and it will be stimulating that point throughout the day. You can kind of press on it and it'll stimulate it. So I love those for sure, for sure.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about them. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, really good question. I think you can get them on Amazon now, even.
Oh,
Maybe not the tax. I think you would maybe have to get the tax from an acupuncture supply store.
so are they like a specific, where would, so you can't get them in a drugstore?
No, I wouldn't think
No.
so. I think, yeah, you'd have to get a practitioner to order it for you.
Tanya, where do you get yours? Do you
I
use it?
don't.
Oh,
I
okay.
just
No.
I have them used on me.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'm not certified yet for seating. I'm not doing a TCM, so I won't be able to use tax.
Yeah, yeah.
Because in my registration, we're not allowed to break the skin. So a tag would pierce the skin, where a seed just applies pressure to it.
Yeah,
Oh,
totally. Yeah, I think the seeds are such a safe way to use all of these points. I always give like a pack to my clients often after a treatment, and they can just continue the treatment at home. Yeah.
For me personally, I love it when they actually put it in on my solar plex.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they usually put multiple seeds in for me, and then
Uh-huh.
every time I step down, it's a nice balancing.
Cool.
Takes a little while to get used to the stimulants, but
Yes. Yeah. I had really good success for my stepdad actually had pretty bad insomnia, and he lives by the ear seeds for that,
oh yeah.
for the insomnia in the ear. Yeah.
oh, that's an interesting thing because a lot of people do have problems sleeping. So,
Sons, I would say that's about, yeah, between sleep. Yeah, I say sleep is number one that I see people for, or that they're wanting to work on, that they're struggling with, either that or digestion. I think those are the two main ones.
well, yeah, we need our sleep so we can heal because that's when
Yeah,
our body
exactly. The
heals.
rest,
So,
rest and digest. So it just goes hand in
yeah,
hand.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the two problems that we
Love
have the
that.
most. Yeah,
That's what I'm
right.
always preaching, rest and digest.
Rest and digest. And we're all like, so much of us are stuck in fight or flight
Yeah.
because of this anxiety epidemic. And then it's just this vicious circle.
Okay. So, what do you think about those? And I've seen them like they're kind of like things that you step on that have
Yeah,
bumps or circles on them that you can,
the little acupressure mats.
yeah.
Yeah,
Do
they're
those,
that's
yeah,
the
do
one.
those work? Do they help?
Well,
Yes.
for sure. Because it's the same thing, right? You're stimulating those areas. You're getting, the pokes where you're needing them, and I'm sure you're finding some good areas that then you can dig into a little bit more. My morning routine, I have like a little a foot massager, and I read my book, and I have my coffee, and kind of like get my whole body warmed up that way, in the morning. That's what I like to do. So, yeah, acupressure mats for sure would be great. And I
But it
think
still doesn't get to the root of it. So you don't know what is really going on. It's just
true.
kind of helping and stimulate everything.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Maybe you wouldn't know exactly what you're pressing into and why that hurts. But I would always recommend just pulling up Google and put up foot reflexology map, and you'll get all the info that you need. Keeping in mind that sometimes these are like generalized areas, and so if you're trying to be like so specific, you might notice you're like a little bit in this zone but a little bit in this zone. So that's where I say sometimes it takes some intuition of like, okay, is that my appendix, or is that like, my shoulder sort of thing.
Well, can it be two things wrong in the same pressure point, or is it just usually just one thing?
Let's where I say like so for example, like on the side of the foot you have the arm going down into the leg. So if you have like, it's so common to have tension in both that I think
Okay.
I think one point is one thing, but just that area is a bit broad of like, is that my hand specifically, or is that my wrist? You know what I mean? It's like it's such a small difference of area.
Okay. So I like reflexology. I love it.
Mhm.
So can you help with like working with a specific organ if somebody has an issue with a specific organ?
Yeah, and that's where I like, say if somebody had their gallbladder removed, then maybe I will go to yeah. Then I would like to go in there, right? And just kind of give that some TLC, and maybe like with your liver too, and kind of like support. the kind of paired organs that way. I say paired organs, they're paired in Chinese medicine. The gallbladder and the liver go hand in hand. So I guess that was a little Chinese medicine tidbit there, but
Well, it makes sense because they said after they took my gallbladder out that I'd have to be careful because of the bile within the liver and
exactly.
all of that. So makes
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
together.
But
Okay.
I like using the reflexology, like I said, as like basically an indicator to the body of like you need to do some work on this area, right? So like with your gallbladder, I'm going to work into your gallbladder and let your body know, okay, this needs some cleanup work here, you know?
And you
Yeah.
can also use it as a way to relieve scar tissue from the inside out.
Ah, okay, yeah. If you
Yeah.
feel scar tissue in there, you can kind of get rid of some of that like surgical.
Oh,
Yeah,
this
but
was
Gunk.
in the 90s that I got that done.
Oh,
That's long gone.
interesting.
you will
Yeah.
still have actual scar tissue. For
Oh, probably, yeah.
every time they open us up or you have an incision, the scars are multi-layered. Even
Mm-hmm.
though we shed skin constantly, the scar never really disappears.
Oh.
Right,
So our body views it as a trauma.
right. And I would imagine like some cross friction would be really good. Like I know with just literally like actual, you say like a keloid scar on your arm, you can be kind of grinding that out to get better blood flowing through there again. So we can definitely work with the scar tissue. It'll never be the same, uh, same tissue as once before, but we can definitely improve it. Definitely.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
sounds interesting.
Like I think that would be huge for a lot of women who have had C-sections.
C-section,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what I was just thinking. Yeah.
breast reduction,
Mm.
lipos, anything that
Cycle.
massive
Yeah,
contrast and um, body contouring,
totally.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
And it's also working through the emotional and physical of the scarring.
right.
What you
Which
do,
is bound in there.
yeah.
Which kind of like right, like I like kind of the same with those fascia systems. It's like all of that is like intertwined into there.
Yes.
Yeah. But good idea. I like that of working out the scar tissue through that reflexology point. That's something new for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah, see, we're always learning something.
Yeah.
It's
Does
another,
anybody have any questions about anything? Are you worried about something in your body that you kind of want to? Does anything hurt on your feet or hands? Let's just say that. Because I was talking to her earlier tonight and I told her I had something on my foot. So I'm going to go to her so I can kind of figure out what it is because
Yeah, I hope
it's
I can help.
intriguing to me to know these things.
Yeah. I like it for headaches. It's really great for headaches. We're gonna work specific headache points, but in general, like bringing the energy down away from the head just feels really good. Um, More specifically would be like it's hard to, I'm holding my phone at the same time that I do this, but kind of that meaty spot between the thumb and the forefinger is just like a really good classic traditional headache point
Oh,
on the
like in
hand.
here?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can give that a press and
Does that help with migraines too? Because some people with the change in weather
yes,
in Calgary, they kind of get the migraines, the headaches.
definitely. Yeah, this is going to be like a distal point. You can think of it as they're all everything's kind of like connected through here, but we often use the feet and the hands in Chinese medicine to draw things out of other areas of the body. So if all of your migraines like sitting up here, we're going to want to use stuff in the feet and the hands to draw that out of the body. We don't necessarily want to hammer a bunch of needles into the local area and just bring more energy there, more chi there. It could maybe make it worse even, you know?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we had a headache, we just have to push this like this because it feels fatty in there.
Yeah, you should be able to feel a tender point in there. If you kind of dig around in there a little bit, unless you're pregnant, don't do this because that can cause uterine contractions. That's how strong
Oh my
of
God,
effect that
really?
can have. Oh yeah,
Oh,
there's a few.
I should have known that when my daughter was trying to have the baby.
Yes, and totally right. When we start talking about like labor induction, that is exactly the area that we're going to do. Those
Oh my God.
ankle points that we're avoiding while somebody's pregnant, we're going to start hammering those and using them in our way to our benefit, at the end of the pregnancy. So it's fun to get to work on a pregnant woman when you're trying to induce labor. I love that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Can
Well,
just
and
get.
is there anything you can do after somebody's had a baby?
Oh, always,
Oh yeah.
always. It's so good to replenish them afterwards and get that uterine blood and like everything that's kind of built up and stagnant in there, help it release all of that, the lymph system. I think that's probably the most important time to treat a woman is postpartum. And I don't know if you guys have heard of that concept. I keep going back to Chinese medicine. Sorry, it's like such a big part of my life. But that 1 month after the woman has had the baby is like the golden month. And they say that you can heal deep rooted diseases during this month following postpartum.
Wow.
Yeah, if you utilize it and you really take care of yourself and you stay inside and you're nurtured, and sometimes you can't do that. I mean, I my own personal situation, I had to be in the NICU with my son for almost 2 weeks, and it was actually like really devastating for me for that reason, that I couldn't have this golden month that I had heard so much about and learned so much about, and I didn't get to utilize it. So I understand sometimes you can't do that, but if you can, you might be able to heal some really like deep rooted things that you've had your whole life.
Wow.
Also in Chinese medicine, they say if you have a disease, like get pregnant to heal it, kind of thing. you know.
That's
Um,
something that can't happen for some of us as we're too old or that.
yeah. So or
But
whatever reasons you can't, but
so what is so magical about that time that you can only do it then, but you can't do it another time?
I think it's a time of reset. Everything in our body is this open
Okay.
vessel at that time. When we talk about Chinese medicine, when we do our next chat about that, I can start talking about something called moxa season, where we're using mugwort on certain areas of the body to replenish that like vital chi that is lost throughout life, and a lot of it lost throughout pregnancy and childbirth. We can really replenish ourselves with like heat in some of these similar reflexology points. Like that's what I mean. There's so much crossover that okay, we're going to be using this moxa heat pack on the uterus area of reflexology, right? To help replenish the woman's uterus postpartum.
Can we
And
use heat pads on our feet to stimulate anything in our body? To
You wouldn't want to. You won't want to go hot and cold, not just heat,
oh,
because heat will draw and cold will circulate.
get yeah, I think it there's yeah, I like using heat mostly, and then yeah, the cold can kind of like draw away what we've brought up, Like a lot of people with injuries just love to go for ice, 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 and it's like unless you actually have like a sprained ankle, like a very acute injury that has real swelling, you don't really want to use ice. Like most of the time, we want to soften those tissues and send more blood to the area to try and heal it up. And then yeah, I would love to use the ice at the end or cold at the end to flush that away and then kind of bring in some new blood flow after that. So
okay.
hydrotherapy is yeah, that's kind of like a whole other thing in
In
itself.
itself, yeah. Well, yeah. It's
Yeah.
something, maybe another talk.
For sure. But like I think if when in doubt, go for heat. And so a great thing to do is having your feet in warm water. If you're a woman that has like bad period cramps, like having your feet in warm water in itself can just be really soothing. So I think yeah, heat can really like draw things out. There's
And how
the feet
long
are
do we
so
soak?
porous, like you get like those detox foot baths, a lot can happen through the feet.
How long do we soak our feet for
I would say
to get
about
the benefit?
I would say a good like 20 minutes.
Oh, okay. And
You know?
not hot water, but warm, comfortable water.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to be scalding hot. I like my water like very warm. I can tolerate a lot. And
Okay.
then if you wanted like a vascular flush, then you could dip them into some cold water afterwards too, kind of similar to the cold shower effect.
Okay. That
Yeah.
sounds good.
Yeah.
I like that. Anything we can do to help our body, like just even getting energy flowing through
Yeah, and just even
is
doing
good.
like simple kind of like foot taps, like you're just kind of like waking up the foot in the morning.
Oh,
That's like a good way to just get things flowing right off the bat. The lymph drainage point would be like kind of like the front of the ankle. So you could be kind of like swiping the front of the ankle up to the knee area, and you're getting like the lymph system going too.
Oh,
You
that's
know?
interesting. I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
I like the foot tapping thing because I think sometimes that's something that's easy to do. You don't really have to think about it.
Yeah, just start tapping on the foot and you're going to be, I mean, you'll tap through your entire body, just tapping the bottom of your foot like that. And keeping in mind, there's lots going on the top of the foot too. It's not only the bottom of the foot or the palm of the hand, you have the whole front side of it too, which essentially like is corresponding to the front of your body. So a lot of people have like chest tension, right? We all have like our closed in shoulders. So I love doing the front of the foot and like so the in between the little foot bones, you can imagine those as like the rib area, right? Like you're kind of getting into the intercostal space in between the toes there.
Oh,
Yeah, so I feel like that's really nice. Most of us are closed off through the chest, so even
so
getting to the front.
so the top of the foot is related to the front of our body.
Right.
Okay, I did not
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, so if we're wanting to work your neck, like I'm going to work the front of your big toe,
Oh, okay.
right? If I could work the back of your neck through like the back of the toe and just underneath the little or on top of kind of the pads. Yeah, so there is a front and back to the body, absolutely. Same thing with the ears. We're gonna needle like the front of them, but also we can get into the back of them too. It's a whole other system back there.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. I think the ear reflexology is probably the least well known. I think everybody thinks of reflexology through the feet, but there is the three different areas with even more microsystems among that. There's a microsystem like on the abdomen that you can work through the whole body. So there's just all these microsystems all over.
Yeah, and I thought it was just more the feet and the hands that most people would be trained on or do.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah. I think that ear can be forgotten about, but I like the idea of the seeds as a way to stimulate that without having to get acupuncture on them, because not everybody likes needles. That's not enjoyable for everyone, but effective, I gotta say.
Yeah, I've had it done a couple of times.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was uncomfortable, can we say, at the beginning because you don't know what
Yes,
to expect.
yes.
But once you realize that it's not painful, then it's easier to have it done.
Agreed. Yeah, we kind of have to get past that initial mental block.
Yeah. That's why
Something.
reflexology is great because it
Yes.
just feels good. It doesn't really
Yes.
have too much pain involved unless you have issues show up.
For sure, you could induce some pain, but I like it because there's a lot of people that don't like getting massages. They're not comfortable with having their bodies touched, and so reflexology is really great for somebody who is like, I don't, feel like I need a treatment, but I don't want a massage. You know, like I said, we could still access your whole body through just your foot, and that makes people feel a lot more comfortable.
I didn't know that. That makes sense though.
Yeah, yeah, it feels less invasive.
Yeah, because some
And
people they don't want to be physically exposed,
yep,
right?
yep,
Vulnerable.
yep.
So this is a good way of just having your feet out there.
Yeah, exactly. You can take your socks off, and most people are okay with that. Um, you know, there again, lots of people have ticklish feet, so okay, no problem. We can go through your hands. That's totally fine. There's just always a way that you can incorporate this modality.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And how long do sessions take for that? Is it like a half an hour? Is it an hour? Like,
With half hour would be a minimum. I think an hour is more ideal to really like get in depth. You're wanting to like do a warm up and then do a body mapping. Like I'm going to map your whole foot out, and then when I find what I find, then I'm going to get in there and try and work it out. So I think an hour is ideal, but half hour minimum.
okay.
Yeah.
And then you inform us of what it is you found.
Exactly. I have some people who are so interested. Like I don't mind talking throughout the session if that's the kind of treatment you like. You can ask me as I'm poking around what I'm feeling, or I'll just tell you at the end. Yeah, some people don't care. It just feels good and
You
they're like,
just
just do it. And I don't care what it is. But some people have a lot of questions and I don't mind answering them. I do think that you get more out of a treatment if you're not talking. And I feel like I
Oh,
do a better job as a practitioner when I'm not talking because I can just focus a lot more on what I'm doing and what I'm feeling. But that being said, I'd never want people to feel like they can't talk during a session because that's definitely not the case. And that's also very therapeutic in itself, So
well,
every
I
person's so
talk
different.
when somebody hits a certain point and it hurts.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what
Ooh,
is
what's
that?
that?
I want to
Yes.
know now. I don't want to know
Yes.
later.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I
so
think a lot of people are that way, especially with reflexology, where that it's supposed to be corresponding to something. So then you're wondering what it's corresponding to.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is, yeah, that's what I want to know. I
Yeah,
think,
for
yeah,
sure. Not
information.
to gear anybody away from not talking. That's definitely
Yeah.
Well, we're checking in as we're working anyways, as we're mapping, as we're going through the sequence. We actually are constantly looking up, checking in, and just
yeah.
watching for cues coming off your face.
So
Or your
true. Yeah. Yeah. See
So
them
we give a
squinting
facial
or
expression like, oh my God, that hurts or something. Is that what
yes.
we
oh
do?
yeah. Or
Yeah.
Okay.
you'll pull your you'll jerk your knee back, your foot will try to release out of the hand. Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Oh yeah, because we're trying to get away from the pain.
Yeah.
We're not wanting to be in that pain.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. So true. So true.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But you can tell a lot. The temperature of the foot. You can see how the circulation is flowing. The rigidity in the foot in general. After I had my son, one of my teachers was like, "Oh, I thought you were into yoga and stuff. Like I thought you were all relaxed." I'm like, "Well, I just have a have a 1 year old at home. Like my feet are a little more stiff than they used to be." But she could just tell like right away, like from what my foot used to feel like, and then what it felt like after having my baby was like a different foot.
Oh, so we get like tension and stress in our feet too.
Yeah, like that's where I think is a good like overall picture
Oh,
of just like I say those first few swipes and like how willing are you to just sort of like let go and kind of not anticipate the movements that I'm trying to do, right? Like we're kind of doing the warm up of the ankle in the beginning, and you can really see like who is sort of like resisting that or anticipating what the movement's going to be, just little things like that.
okay.
And remember that as you grow older, your feet never changes. So everything that you have done or had created to your body,
Right,
your feet still recognizes everything. If
right,
you
that
remove
memory.
stuff, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it still thinks it's there, even though it might not be actually still in your internal body.
Right, yeah, that memory. Super interesting.
Hey,
Yeah,
something we're
ancient.
always trying to get rid of.
Yeah.
Because we want to heal, like when we heal, we want to heal everything and not
Yeah.
have it still in our body.
No residual. Yeah, I think that's the lifelong journey of healing, really. You know.
And it is a lifelong journey. It's not something we can just do tomorrow and we're good. No, we have
hmm Yeah.
lots of baggage and we have to keep at it.
Yeah. Different
Uh,
daily stressors as we go along. Yeah.
Anything can stress us out. I know I've got the week of hell going on. So yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's out there, but
Uh,
I'll have to get a booked in with you then so I can get some of
well,
this
you should. Yeah. If you're feeling
tension
like
off
you need
me.
it right now. Now more than ever.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It'll be good. Does anybody have any questions? Is everybody's feet well and your hands well? No, nobody's got any questions. Everybody's learning though, I hope. You guys can unmute again, or you can just chat in the comments, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Make it easy for us because we want to know. We're here to kind of inform you of what it is that can help you also, right? Because everybody's going through different things. So if you don't ask, we can't direct you or assist you in that situation, right? Unless everybody's healthy and this was just a little bit of information.
Could be.
It's
I find a lot of bunions when I start working on the feet. It's like, oh, some people that didn't know they had that was a bunion, or that that's just like another thing that we can help is like bunion pain is like really it's really a problem, and it does go into the knee, into the hip. So that's something that we can help with through the foot for sure.
Isn't a bunion a thing that like sticks out the side of the foot? Like
Yeah,
you're
and
like if this
oh,
goes crooked or something?
Yeah, like a lot of people think you actually start like growing like a bone on the side, and it's not. It's like a misalignment of the toes being like pulled in a weird way. So it's like a mixture of strengthening the arch of your foot. Like you would definitely have to do some exercises at home as well, but we can loosen up those little muscles in between the tarsal bones there, and in through the arch as well, and help relieve some of that pain. My husband has them, so like that's one I'm kind of practiced in working on.
What about plantar fasciitis? Does
Yeah,
that be worked on too? Because a lot of people seem to have that.
Yep.
yes. And like you definitely want to go into the calves and like hamstrings. Like yeah, plantar fasciitis is usually like from things being tighter all the way up as well. But I mean, definitely, yeah, we're gonna like soften those tissues. But I always want to work on the calf as well if we're gonna work on plantar fasciitis. Yeah, but for sure, that would be a prime example of reflexology. And it just feels good. Like whether you had something to work on or not, like I said, most people fall asleep when I do reflexology on them. I'm saying I'm doing my foot massage at the beginning. Maybe they don't even know I'm doing reflexology, but it just goes in hand with like a foot massage now, you know?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so I do. Yeah, I find people just find it really relaxing, whether you have anything you want to target in general, or if you just want to lay there and get your feet massaged, you're going to enjoy it for sure.
Yeah, and like you said, if you don't want to get a massage and be naked,
Yeah.
this is the next best thing.
Yeah, exactly. If you have, elderly grandparents or something, I find they really benefit from it. It's tough getting the circulation going for them all the way, to try and get some of that fluid out of their feet and go against gravity.
Yeah.
It's literally amazing. Like I can see the color come back in their foot after just like 5 minutes of doing a treatment on them, and their foot looks completely different. Like it went from being this purple blue thing to like, okay, now we have blood circulating through it, and we're moving some of that lymph fluid. You see almost instant results with seniors. So I really like it for them.
How long does that last? Because I know, because you're getting the blood flow at that moment, but how
Yes.
long does it last through the body, or is it good forever?
It's not going to be good forever with one treatment. And what I like to say about some of these wellness treatments is it's exactly like going to the gym. If you go once, that's what kind of results you're going to get. But if you're going frequently and kind of doing your due diligence at home as well, then your results are going to last longer. But if you change nothing in your lifestyle and you only are relying on this one singular treatment, no, it's not going to, nothing is a miracle worker, or else we would all be doing that thing. So I think frequency is a bit of a part of it, and depending on what we're working on in the severity. If we're working on just maintenance, you just want to feel good, like once a month would be fine. But if you have like a chronic problem, we might be working on it once a week kind of thing,
Oh, okay.
right? And
So
that's
it
where
just
I
depends on
feel,
what's going on.
yeah. And I also feel like that's where, our access to benefits and all of that can really make or hinder a treatment. It's not that somebody's not willing to come in, but like, are they able to? So
Yeah.
I like that what you're doing here of like ways that you can take it into your own hands. And if you're understanding like the map of the body, if you kind of Google that and you can start working into some of these areas on your own, then you could keep a treatment going. Your practitioner shows you what areas are sore on your foot, and then kind of like you did, you ended up going to the doctor after figuring something out, or okay, I can work on that at home. My liver is under stress. Okay, I'm gonna eat more greens and antioxidants, and like give my liver a bit of a rest, things like that.
Most people's livers are stressed because of
Yeah.
the fight and flight status. So,
Yeah. They're shot. Like it's
yeah.
interesting in Chinese medicine, like a liver is never deficient. It's always in excess.
Yes.
Right? Like your stomach and all these other organs can most definitely be in deficiency, but like your liver is like always in excess. So
So does reflexology help like to detoxify the liver, or what does it do to the liver?
yeah, it's gonna wake up that liver system and get things flowing. And like with the porousness of our feet, that's what I like the foot detox systems for. So we're gonna like kind of wake it up with reflexology, get things moving in there, and then if we do a nice foot detox and just flush all that out, I think that would be a really nice combo.
Okay, that sounds cool. Because I do know that most people need to have their livers detoxed.
Mm-hmm. I'm drinking
And,
kombucha, by the way, as we're speaking of livers.
just because of the fight and flight. And so it's kind of nice to kind of heal our liver in many ways, not just in one way by doing one thing, but to do different multiple things because our body responds in different ways to different things that we get done.
Just, yeah, simply by like calming ourselves and calming our body, that's going to have an effect on our liver. Just, being mindful and breathing is already going to help our liver. So we add in some reflexology points and the magic of that, along with like the fact that you're just resting and digesting. I think that's you're going to feel really good if that's kind of a purpose. If stress and anxiety is a main factor for you, then definitely that's a good way to go.
Okay, that sounds good. Someone has thank you for the information on what reflexology is. So, yeah, does anybody have any questions? No, everybody's quiet.
One thing I actually do like about reflexology and the whole spectrum is it's something that you can use from the minute you're born right up to the minute you actually pass over.
Right. All stages of life.
Yeah. And it's the quickest way to stimulate or to relieve stress as you're passing.
Right. My 6-year-old son loves his feet massaged, and it's amazing like how at such a young age he already has things in his feet that I can feel, you know?
Oh, wow. At
Mostly
that
like
early age.
yeah, it's amazing, and he can feel it too. So he's like a little sponge of all of this stuff. He starts giving me massages now, and I'm just like so excited to see how this blossoms. But even in such a young foot, I can still feel things happening, and even in regular massage, like the fact that these kids have knots in their shoulders, you know, I think sometimes we need to take some pressure off ourselves as the adults that like there's so much wrong with us, and to remember that like even these young kids who have like no life stresses yet, they still have knots even, and that's where I say it's like we're always doing our best to heal our body and be the best that we can be, but we're not perfect, and we're always in a constant state of change, and we're always going to need to like adapt and treat that. We're going to treat ourselves different in the winter than we do in the summer, and there's times for detoxing and times for rest, and yeah, keeping that in mind. We're not going to feel 100% all of the time, and maybe that's not the goal.
So, is this the time to detox or is this the time not to detox?
Not to detox. We want to do detox in the spring. Spring
Okay.
equinox is like, and that is the season of the liver. So if you're ever looking to take care of your liver, spring equinox is the time to do that. Right now, we're in the season of the kidney. We're trying to hibernate. We want to replenish ourselves, nice warm foods, like no cold shakes and raw salads and things like that, which I find people wanting to um, who are wanting to be healthy and potentially lose weight, they love doing the salads and the shakes, and it's like that's really cold on your stomach, and then your body has to go ahead and warm all of that up and then digest it, and you kind of lose some of the nutrients in all that, and if you have a sluggish digestion, it's going to be hard. So anyways, yeah, I would say spring is definitely the time of detox. Right now we're resting, and we are like the trees are doing, we're resting and gathering energy right now.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
In about another week and a half, we'll actually start moving your digestive system and your body right into spring.
Right.
You're
prep for that, yeah.
Yeah, you're usually 2 weeks behind the actual change of season to a month.
Yeah, it's so funny you say that. And like again with this like Chinese medicine crossover, it's like the in between time of each season. Then you're working on the digestion, exactly like you say. The spleen and the stomach is like in between each season. So yeah, for sure, I'm right along there with you with that one.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So this is the time not to detox. Wait a few more weeks. We've got about a month till the spring.
Yeah.
Right? March 21st, I think.
Right.
Yeah, the 19th to 21st.
Yeah, and then that way we can then start to prepare for
for
being
spring.
outdoors and all that.
Yeah, exactly. Spring cleaning on our body and our house.
I like that. Spring cleaning on your body, not just your house. So that's a good idea. That's a good way to remember it.
Yeah, that's true.
So we can work with the seasons because
Yeah.
we want to work with the body, not against the body.
Great. Yeah, we can definitely help ourselves out. Definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Okay. Does anybody have no questions? Everybody's so quiet tonight.
But if you are going to do the spring cleaning and you're sweeping everything out, make sure you blow some cinnamon back in.
Warm it back up after it's cleared
Yeah.
out. Yeah. Don't leave a cold house. Yeah.
Cinnamon? What do you mean? Explain yourselves.
It's a way to bring back positive energy.
Oh, so you actually mean like in the house?
Yeah, you actually stand outside and you blow cinnamon back through your house.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
I wasn't catching along with what you were saying there. Like my brain went somewhere else with that.
Well, that's
of
what
like,
I was wondering. That's all like, what's going on here?
So
that's cool.
usually if we clean out or sweep out everything, we're sweeping everything out energy wise. So you want to bring in a healthy energy too.
Yeah.
Right.
That's cool. Okay, so I'm gonna send you guys in the chat. Okay, let's see if I can do it. There we go. This is Brittany's name and her phone number. If you want to contact her, if you have any questions or you want to book a session with her, she is in Calgary. I'm assuming everybody here is. And then that way, maybe you can kind of figure out what's going on with you so that we can start our healing journey as spring is coming.
Yeah.
And to get ready for detoxing and understanding what's going on in our body. I think that's the key takeaway. As women, we don't get the health care that we really deserve because they don't know enough about women's health in general. And they're just starting to tap into it. And so I think anytime when we can empower ourselves and take and learn for ourselves what's really going on in our body is key. And to me, reflexology is one of those things.
Yep. I think take the ancient knowledge as it is, like it's been around for thousands of years for a reason, and most definitely a benefit to it.
Yeah, that's true. And next month, Brittany will be back and she's going to talk more about traditional Chinese medicine. So I'm looking forward to that because I'm going to have a lot of questions. I don't know a lot about it. That's why I'm really interested in it because I think it'll be eye-opening for me, but I'm hoping for others too.
Yeah. So it's a full body system, mind, body, soul, physical, all of the things. So it checks all of the boxes and has just quite literally changed the way I live my day-to-day life and my practice as well.
But it seems like there's, well, or maybe I don't know, that you don't know where to go or who to go to for somebody like that to get TCM, as we'll use the acronym.
Traditional Chinese medicine.
Yeah.
There's a lot of practitioners out there, and I think it's just finding one that fits with you, and maybe that could be a bit of trial and error, of like same thing as like a hairstylist or a massage therapist. It's like you just know when you know, and then you're in kind of thing. But I think maybe that's the tricky part is just finding the one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's not like you drive around town and you see advertisements or their names of companies or names of businesses on places, but I don't really see traditional Chinese medicine anywhere.
Yeah. And most of the time when you see acupuncture, they're doing traditional Chinese medicine acupuncture. Okay. Most of the time, if it's like a physio or a chiropractor, they're just doing more Western style acupuncture. But if you're seeing, if it's most of the time, unless it's a physio or chiro, it's going to be a traditional Chinese medicine approach, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Because I would have thought they were just doing acupuncture because they never say TCM. So
right. They can be very, very different. The approach of just needling a local area as opposed to, like I'm saying, the whole meridian system and organ system and just the whole system in general, which is complex. But I think word of mouth is a really great way to find practitioners. If you're just feeling like, oh, I don't know, I love word of mouth because then you just know for sure.
Yeah, because somebody's actually tried them and gone to them.
Exactly. That's my best That's how I built my practice, is all word of mouth. I think it's hard to figure something out over just looking at an ad online. How would you ever know what they're going to be like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, mainly it's like a lot of things. Yeah, it's the name, but what does
Mhm.
that mean? Because
Yeah.
your education, your training, other modalities might come and play to it. So it's unique.
Yeah, exactly. It's very unique. Yeah. Yeah. And you might not even know, like, you need a little bit of like, you want somebody like a little bit spiritual and a little bit woo woo, because the traditional people just aren't hitting it,
Yeah,
So you need to try something a little bit more wacky and
that's
out there.
true. So
Yeah.
somebody who fits you. Well, and that should be true with everything, right? From doctors to everything.
Yeah, I think it's worth it to shop around, because I have had people that come in for treatments, no matter what modality, and saying that they've had it from other practitioners and it did nothing for them. And their experience with me was different. Not to like toot my horn, because I think that happens with a lot of other people, but just don't go off one experience necessarily.
Yeah.
Don't, try not to get a bad taste in your mouth, and maybe just try somebody else
Yeah.
as
But
opposed to
don't give
giving
up.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Don't give up. There's
Yeah.
always somebody else out there who will be your
Yes.
one person.
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure. That one thing will click and you'll feel it in your belly when it's right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I want to thank Brittany for coming tonight. This was awesome. I learned a lot.
Good.
I'm
I hope
excited.
so.
I'm going to book to find out what's going on with my foot,
Nice.
what that thing is.
Yeah, I'm curious now.
Yeah, I
What is
know.
it?
And then hopefully you can get rid of it so I don't have to worry about it.
I hope so.
But yeah, if you guys want, you can contact Brittany if you want. Again, it'll be, I'm thinking, what's next month? March? It'll be another Wednesday night, the second last week of the month, if Brittany's good with that.
I think that sounds good to me. Yeah.
And then, yeah, we'll go from there with some traditional Chinese medicine and see and learn what that is and what it can do for our body and help
Yes.
us in
Yes.
any way possible, because I don't know. So, well,
So there's always something that can be done,
yeah,
definitely.
we're going to learn. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
So I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. Yes,
Thank you.
thank you, Gibson. Nice to
Yes.
see you. And yeah, I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. And
Okay.
thanks for coming.
Good night. Thanks for having me, and nice talking with everyone. And thanks for your input, Tanya.
Yeah, have a great and nice meeting you.
Yeah, you too. Bye.